Australia is currently going through a really bad drought at the moment. We are lacking water and things are getting crispy. It's not good for farmers, it's not good for households, it's not good all round. Our water supply is getting low and things are getting a little bit full on. So I'm constantly getting the question on what can you do with your lawn when we have water restrictions like this. So watch today's video and I'll give you some tips and advice on how to do this.
Okay, so I've been meaning to do this video for a little while. I'm finally getting to do it, but I'm talking today about how to save water on your lawn during the drought. A couple of tips and tricks like cultural practices, products that you can apply, just little tips you can do just to save a bit of water even in the house to get out in the yard as well. So let's just kick into this bad boy. Yo mate, what up? Welcome to another lawn tip vid. So the drought conditions in Australia aren't the best at the moment. We're in town here, for example, we're on level 5 water restrictions. This means you cannot water your lawn. So luckily I have an exemption because this is now my full-time job and it's my only source of income. But unfortunately everyone else around town can't do it, so they have to rely on rain. And obviously if you've got a greywater system or something, or a rainwater tank or a bore, you can water your lawn then, which I am actually looking at getting a bore as well, getting a few quotes. But yeah, it's really hard to look after your lawn when there is not much rain and you've got water restrictions. So for example, I'm trying to cut back on my watering, so some spots when I was away went a little bit sad, and the lawn isn't getting as much water as it normally does. Even it does look pretty good though. We did get some rain last week, so it's shining through a bit from that rain. But let's just talk about some cultural practices you can do, which means like some physical things you can do in your yard that are going to help save some water and allow water to be actually retained in your soil a bit more as well. The first thing I want to talk about with your lawn when you are coming into a season like this where it's hotter and we don't have as much water is bring your height of cut up. So cut your lawn a little taller. So I was previously cutting it about 2 months ago, I was cutting it 10 mil. And the water was just not retaining in the soil very well. So I brought it up to 12, still found it wasn't holding water as well as it should have because of the lack of rain. So we're up to 15 mil now, so we'll see how long it lasts. I'm going like that, but I might even take it up a little bit higher as we get closer to summer, just to help retain some moisture, because basically your longer grass is going to retain moisture. Because it is longer, your soil's not going to dry out as quickly, so it's just going to hold that moisture in there quite a bit more. So smart to bring your height cut up. I know how fun it is to have your grass nice and short. It's a nice challenge, but we've really got to think about water at the moment while we're struggling with it. Now, while we're on the subject of mowing, make sure you mow often as well. Don't leave a long period of time between cuts, because if you leave longer times, then you're going to stress your plant out because it's growing taller and you're cutting into what we call the crown, which is like below the leaf surface. So make sure you're mowing regularly. Like, don't mow 5 times a week, because then that's also going to stress your grass out. But try to mow 1 to 2 times a week, because it gives your grass a lot less damage and allows it to bounce back a lot quicker too when you mow more often. So watering properly is a huge one. So you need to make sure that you're watering your lawn properly. Do not water your lawn daily. I know a lot of people think you need to water your lawn daily to maintain a healthy lawn. Believe it or not, I've only watered this lawn, once in the last 2 weeks. We did get a little bit of rain in between. We got 6 mil, but I've only watered it with 13 mil of water in the last 2 weeks. So all up, it's got nearly 20 mil in 2 weeks' time. And we're getting temps from around about 20. We had a day of 27 last week, and it's been very windy. So wind does dry out your grass a lot quicker. But I've done a few videos on how to water your lawn properly. I'll link down below the latest one that I've done. But basically, you need to be applying with cool season grass about ½ an inch, which is 13 mil, 2 to 3 times a week. I'd be trying to stretch it to 1 time a week at the moment, just because of the conditions we've got. And to measure that, watch the video because it shows you how to measure out 13 mil of water from your sprinklers. But yeah, warm season grass, same thing, 1 to 2 times a week is what's recommended of 30 mil of water, ½ an inch each time that you do. Basically, you do those deep waters instead of shorter waters, so that your grass is trained to shoot its roots a lot deeper, and stretching in between those times as well with your watering is actually going to help your grass become more resilient as well. So a question I get asked very often is, how do I know when to water my grass again? Well, basically you need to be assessing your lawn all the time. So when a lawn starts to look a little bit blue, I like to say, a little bit bluey grey colour, that's when it's time to water it again. Now, it's good to get to that point where it goes that bluey grey colour, because it means you're stressing it out. You're not actually killing it, but it means its roots are starting to try and search for water down a little bit lower. So I always let my lawn, and the majority of my lawn, go that colour, just so I know that it's ready for its next water. So last time, as I said, that was 2 weeks till I saw that happening. Sometimes you get some isolated spots that do need a little bit of hand watering, so I recommend you do that on the in-betweens. Do some hand watering there. Like if you normally go with the sun behind you, you can normally see, so from this side for example, so I'll see if we can find an example of a blue spot. There's a couple of blue spots down just here, little hot spots. So hopefully you can see them on camera. So you can see one there, there's a couple through there, so they are starting to go dry. So what I would do now is, there's a few all throughout there. So what I would do is I would hand water those spots there. Now, if you're in a place that you can't do hand watering with a hose, I've got a little tip for you. So as I said, if you cannot use your hose or your sprinklers, what I've been doing, and my wife and I have been doing, every time we have a shower, we get a bucket, put it in there, especially while the water's heating up. We put the bucket in there and collect as much water as you can. We also leave it in the shower as well whilst we're having a shower. It's not an issue, you can use that water on your lawn. And then I normally tip it into a watering can like this and use it on the hot spots like that on the yard. Good way to extend it out and save a little bit of water as well. And when the kids have a bath, same thing. I use the water from their bath, which normally gets me quite a bit of extra water as well. And yeah, it's fine when they're using soaps and stuff. You just got to make sure they're non-ionic like soaps. It'll say on the label, you can look on it, but most soaps are fine, because you know technically soaps and that can sort of act like a wetting agent, very weak one, but yeah, so they're fine to have in the bath and use that water, which is what we call grey water. But yeah, I fill up this and do those spots like that. So a question I do get a lot about hand watering is, how long do I water a spot for when I'm hand watering? I mean, I tell you what, it's hard to tell and give an exact answer on that, because it depends on your grass type, your soil type, quite a lot of variables. But you generally want to give it, say if there was a spot like just here that was a little bit blue, and depends on your water pressure too, but like I basically give it enough until I can see the water pooling on top, like not crazy pooling, but enough that you can visually see some water there, and that's really going to be enough. You don't need to go too crazy. 5 to 10 seconds, probably more towards 10 seconds, and that should be enough for it there. Alright, so whilst we're talking about hand watering, I just want to talk to you guys about this easy flow system here that I've got. So this basically at the moment has some wetting agent in it. You can put anything you like in there, like I had some kelp in there last week. You can technically put liquid fertilizers in there as well. And basically you can adjust your ratio of how much chemicals coming out to water as well, your water liquid to water ratio. But I tell you what, really awesome system. So this is running from there into my hose link system, which then runs out, and I do isolated spots with some wetting agent mixed in with this here. So really, really awesome. It's been really great this season. You can run it through your irrigation as well. I need to hook it up through that because how awesome would it be if you put out wetting agent every single time that you water your lawn at like a really low rate. But yeah, that's how good this system is, and no leaks, no issues at all with this thing. I'll be doing some more videos on it in the future, but yeah, it's great. And you can buy these on my website now. Pretty good little system. I'm impressed with it. I've had it for months. I've just been testing it out to try it to see if I liked it first, and I tell you what, to give approval, I do like it. That's about it for cultural practices. There is a couple of other things you can do, like doing aeration to help with your drainage a little bit better, and hydrophobic soil, which means water isn't infiltrating in properly. Also, dethatching your lawn can help get rid of that thatch, so water gets in there and retains properly as well. But I mean, too, if you're doing a renovation, when we've got drought on, you do need a little bit of water to kick it back into gear. So if you did one earlier in the season, good stuff, because you are ahead of the game for keeping your lawn nice and moist. First product I want to talk about today is wetting agent. So wetting agent is basically going to help your lawn to retain moisture and help it penetrate past the soil surface as well, because in Australia we get pretty extreme conditions and it gets quite hot. Our soils can actually sort of stop water actually getting in there, which is what we call hydrophobic soil. So it's actually going to push the water away, if that makes sense. So there's a couple of products you can use. This one here is not a wetting agent. I grabbed the wrong thing. Give me 10 seconds. Alright, I'm back. So here, this is from Plant Doctor, which you can grab on my website as well. This one is called Nature's Soil Wetter. So this is a wetting agent, which Adam tells me he's doubled the strength of this as well. I've been trying it out at home. That's what I've got in that Easy Flow unit at the moment, which I showed you guys that bubbled up in the lawn before. And it seems to be working pretty well. But yeah, what I usually use is something called Hydrolink Advance. I don't have any here at the moment because my brother stole it and he's got it at his house. Give it back, Josh. Hydrolink Advance, man, I do love that wetting agent. It also has some kelp included in there as well. So another great wetting agent. But I've been trying this one out here and it's not too bad. I'd love to do a side-by-side comparison just to see how they go up against each other. So I might do that at some point in like a test plot with some seed or something. So there we go. But yeah, wetting agents, really, really important at the moment while we're in this drought to get yourself some wetting agent. Seriously, it's going to make a huge difference to how much your lawn retains that moisture. And also stop those hot spots to an extent in your lawn because it's going to get rid of that hydrophobic soil. Now, when you do put this down, you technically need to water it in because it can potentially burn your lawn. So make sure you apply it in the afternoon towards the end of the day and water it in. Now, if you aren't able to water your lawn, apply it when there's some rain coming. That's the thing that I would recommend. Same with any product that needs to be watered in at the moment. Wait till some rain comes, if we get some rain, hopefully we do. But yeah, it needs to be watered in because it can potentially burn your grass. Another thing that you can apply to your lawn is soil amendments. So you've heard me guys talk about it a lot. That's actually what my special mix is basically made up of, is soil amendments, just with a little bit of liquid iron in there as well to help you give some colour. But these soil amendments are going to help promote some root growth, which is really important when your grass needs to search for some water. So the deeper your roots, the more hardy your lawn's going to be and the more likely it's going to be able to resist those drought conditions. So what's normally included in soil amendments, or what soil amendments I generally recommend for your lawn, are number one, some kelp like Seaweed Secrets from Plant Doctor, some humic acid like the Quantum H, and also the fulvic acid as well on top of that. And that's really going to help stimulate root growth and make your lawn a lot hardier as well. So I'm applying currently that Seaweed Secrets, my special mix, every 2 weeks. You could technically apply it every week if you wanted to, but I would just half the dosage of it. Don't go too crazy with it, because normally applying even wetting agents and soil amendments weekly but at lower rates can actually make a huge difference as well, instead of just doing it once a month. You know what I mean? It sort of extends the longevity of those wetting agents, and soil amendments, even if you're putting out the same amount. So better to do it more often with lower rates. Last product I want to talk about today is this plant growth regulator just here. So plant growth regulators, I've done a whole video on it. Check it out below. I'll link it in the description if you like. A lot more information there. I'm not going to talk too much about it today, but this is really going to help slow down the growth of your grass, which in drought conditions is good because your grass isn't going to be putting as much energy into growing, so it's not going to require as much water. Not only that, it makes your grass a lot more hardy as well on top of that. So really important to use if you are struggling. The thing with this though is make sure you don't apply in the heat. I normally recommend people apply in the afternoon. I'm going to apply now. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, it's only like 17 degrees here at the moment, so orange isn't that hot yet. So it's fine to do. Don't apply when there's heaps of wind around either. Quite a calm day today, so I'll be fine today here as well. But yeah, I'm going to be using this so it slows down the growth of this, so I'm not cutting the lawn as much. So you're not technically stressing out the lawn as much because you're not cutting it all the time, like 4 or 5 times a week like I need to with this grass because it's so short. And you're going to save a little bit on water on top of that as well. So cool little product. As I've always said, this is one of my favourite products out there. Plant growth regulator is awesome for that golf course look.
One thing they will promise, they're building you a throne. If only you had seen, they won't leave the truth alone. And now you can see the world, but you're blinded by the light, leading you from
all done. Done like a din-din. Make sure when you do apply that stuff, wear your PPE, and don't do it when your lawn is stressed or it's really, really hot as well. Do it late afternoon if it's a hot day. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't water it in. and we should start to see it slow the growth down in about 5 days. But I'm planning to do a dedicated video on plant growth regulator, that product's Astrotus there, in the next couple of weeks. But I have previously done a video which I'll link down below if you want to watch it. Last thing, just with all these drought conditions around, really I encourage you guys to be water wise. I'm trying to be as water wise as I can. I'd love to get a bore installed here, so that's the plan. Just got to get a few quotes and hopefully there's some water here. It's gonna be fun having a truck driving over and putting a borehole down, but you have to do what you got to do, eh? But yeah, just if you have any questions about that as well, feel free to shoot me an email, which is linked down below, my email as well. Just if you need any more tips on that and about plant growth regulators, wetting agents, whatever, happy to answer your guys' questions. Just want to let you guys know that I am doing this full time now, so I'm trying to put some more content out. I'm doing a newsletter every fortnight as well, and I'm doing 2 videos a week, so I'm planning to upload on Wednesdays and on Saturdays like I always have. So a bit more content coming out, and I have got the website where I sell products, consultations, so feel free to check that out, guys. But I'm keen to get some more content out for you guys and shoot more videos, so always feel free to put video ideas in the comments down below, because you know, 2 videos a week, I'll need more ideas. But yeah, really appreciate you guys watching. There's some more merch coming out soon. I think by the start of next week I should have some new stubby holders in stock. Got some polo shirts coming, gonna get some hats soon as well. Thinking something similar to this sort of style with these called dad hats, this sort of style here, with my logo on it and just lawn tips written on it as well. But yeah, thanks guys so much for your support. Thanks so much for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, like the video if you enjoyed it, and you have a good week. Tell you what, these are finally starting to grow. They're looking healthy as. Those power pellets they put in these from Plant Doctor honestly made a difference. I'd never fertilised them before either, which is probably not the smartest thing to do. But I gave them a trim, start of spring, and they just go nuts. It's awesome. And these things need a trim too. See, people that said I went too crazy with cutting these back, sucked in, they've grown. And my azaleas flowers went now, but they're still looking nice. Nice to have some gardens going finally. And silly old Fertilisers grass coming in from the next door neighbours, which is a pain in the bum. Ooh, last thing, guess what? No weeds down there, I got rid of them. And I put some pre-emergent down, so no more weeds coming up there. Yes.